Let's talk about aphids. Aphids have attacked this kale plant over here. It's infested with aphids and they've actually killed it. This plant won't recover now. However, I saw this a month ago. I saw the aphids coming and I did nothing. Do you know why? It's because when we see something like that, we don't have to panic. Because what's happened is the aphids have stayed on this tree and look at the rest of the kale unaffected. So if I were to come and spray something here that's non-poisonous, which would be what we would spray because you can't spray poison on your own food, right? It would just cause the aphids to go somewhere else. So they would go and spread into the other kale. But maybe if we just leave them, they just stay on this plant, and that's the only one that dies. In fact, let's call it we are feeding the aphids, we are feeding nature, and that way they are leaving the rest for us to eat. And yes, there may be a few aphids on other plants, but they're not an infestation. And if they come to this one next, which I think might happen, it's still going to take about a month before they finish this one and then move to that one. By then, I would have finished this crop. So I'm not trying to tell you, spray or don't spray or what. I'm just trying to tell you to really understand what is going on in your garden before you do something. A lot of it comes from experience, unfortunately, but a lot of it you'll learn from our videos. But it's also just tuning in to nature. Just slow down, ground yourself, spend some time in nature, and you'll see what's going on. Um, Most of the things you would have learned by now is from school, is from TV, from social media. It's very disjointed knowledge and maybe even wrong because a lot of it comes from different ideologies of what people are trying to push. But anyway, if you just spend some time, tune into nature, you can start to understand how these things work and get a good harvest like this. So there are management techniques that you can do, and one of the most important thing is mulching. Look at this thick layer of mulch that we have here, and mulch is important because it allows other beneficial organisms to live in the soil. In fact, 60% of spiders are ground spiders. They like to live on the ground. They don't make webs. So we want spiders around our crops because they eat aphids. So if we create a home for the spiders can live here and then they'll protect our crops. So you can see they're keeping it under control, or the system is keeping it under control. The rest of the kales are fine. It's only that one. So, don't panic when you see something like that. Just try to understand what is going on and make an informed decision of what you do.